The Little Mermaid was a story about a princess from the kingdom of Atlantis who truly wanted to be human in order to walk like humans, run like humans, and marry a human prince called Ariel. It was a 1989 classic animated film with a 7 out of 10 rating on IMDb, and today we are going to highlight all the characters, from the main ones to the villains, and we are going to talk about each one of them with their characteristics and personalities in the film. Then we are going to look at the legendary voices and the people responsible for them, where they are, and how old they are in 2025. Let us start in the kitchen with a chef called Louis, who was a French cook in Prince Eric's castle, and was seen to be the main arch-enemy of Sebastian the crab. He was so obsessed with cooking, and always danced around the kitchen while he sang about the things he was cooking. He seemed so happy, but his anger could be triggered by small things, example like when he noticed Sebastian trying to escape, which made his mood to swiftly shift from joyous to anger. This guy was voiced by the great Renée Marie Auberjonois, who was an American actor best known for playing Odo on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Born in 1940, Renée sadly passed away 79 years later on 8th of 2019. Prince Ariel was a young and dashing prince of a seaside kingdom who had a passion for sailing the high seas. And during one of his voyages, he was rescued by a mysterious girl after nearly drowning in a storm. And after hearing her sweet voice, he immediately fell in love with her. Ariel was a romantic man and was always dreaming to find true love, even if it was with another species just like the mermaids. And in the song Kiss the Girl by Sebastian, we saw that he was also shy around ladies, as we saw how paranoid he was to make the first move in kissing Ariel. It was the man called Christopher Daniel Barnes who voiced him, and is an American actor and a former child model. Now to the princess called Ariel, who was the main protagonist of the film, and was the youngest daughter of King Triton and Queen Athena. She lived all her life in Atlantis, and was forbidden to go to the surface world by her father. All that changed when she went to the surface world and saved Prince Ariel from drowning, and she suddenly fell in love, making her to sign a treaty with the Evil One for some new pair of legs and an adjustable body for surviving in the surface world. She was, however, seen to be a bright and spirited mermaid with a strong passion for adventure. And even despite not having the best relationship with her dad, she loved him dearly with all of her sisters too. She was voiced by the magnificent Jodie Benson, who is an American actress and singer that is blessed with 2 kids, and was also named a Disney legend in 2011. Ursula was a villain who once lived in King Triton's palace, but was later banished and exiled, making her vow vengeance against the king and the kingdom by harnessing the power of the king's trident. Her heart was dark, and also had a wicked sense of humor. In the whole show, she was driven by lust for power and her vendetta against King Triton, and was always plotting dark deeds. She was the one responsible in giving Ariel her legs and taking her to the surface world, and her voice was the work of Patricia Carroll, a woman who was an American actress and comedian who was married ever since 1955. She sadly lost her life on July 30th, 2022 in Massachusetts at a lovely age of 95 years. Scuttle was an eccentric seagull who was a self-made expert on human life, and was a supporting character in the film. He was a friend of Ariel, and was always collecting human objects and trashy things on islands and shores. The reason he referred himself as an expert on humans was because he knew quite more than the sea creatures, including Ariel. He was voiced by an American actor and comedian known as Buddy Hackett, who was mostly known for his thick New York accent. And just like Pat Carroll, Buddy was also married in 1955, but he sadly passed away on 30th of June 2003 at the age of 78 years. Ariel had a fish best friend called Flounder, who was always seen traveling with Ariel everywhere she went. He was a tropical fish who was a coward to say the least, and also very loyal to Ariel. He was also very protective of her, as was seen when he was trying to advise Ariel not to make deals with the Wicked Witch. He acted as the voice of reason to Ariel, but she never listened to him once. He was seen to be the perfect sidekick in the film, and it was Jason Marin who voiced him, an American actor from Brooklyn. King Triton was the ruler of Atlantica, and the father of Ariel and her other 6 sisters. He was once married to Queen Athena, who lost her life to sailors, and this was the main reason he never wanted his daughters to travel to the surface world. He was a devoted and loving father that wanted the best for his kids, and a really good ruler to his merpeople in the kingdom. He was voiced by the legendary Kenneth Mars, who was an American actor, and I remember him in Malcolm in the Middle rolling as the generous boss to Francis. Married since 1977, he sadly passed away on February 12, 2011 at the age of 75. Carlotta was a very sweet and kind maid of Prince Eric, and was an additional character. She was very gentle and helpful and a loyal worker in the castle, and was also seen to be a no-nonsense woman and a rival to Chef Louis. She was a mother figure in the film, and her appearance was that of a stout woman with brown eyes and fair skin. She was voiced by Edie McClurg, who was an American retired actress and comedian, who also featured in other movies like Mistress of the Dark and Elvira. The Seahorse Herald was just a minor character who was first seen at the royal concert announcing the arrivals of King Triton and Sebastian. He was voiced by Will Ryan, who was an American voice actor and a musician, and is also recognized for voicing Petrie in The Land Before Time of 1988. This fine gentleman sadly passed away on November 19, 2021 at the age of 72. Grimsby was the faithful guardian and confidant advisor of Eric. He was a no-nonsense and strict gentleman, who was also friendly to all and very loyal to Eric. In the beginning, he didn't believe in the legends of the merpeople, and always found it to be nonsense until she saw Ariel in her mermaid form. He was voiced by the iconic Ben Wright, who was an English actor that has played numerous roles in Disney films, and also played Herr Zeller in The Sounds of Music. He sadly passed on July 2, 1989, a few weeks after this movie's release, and was 74 years old at the time. Sebastian was a red Jamaican-accented crab who served as the king's loyal advisor, friend, and a distinguished court composer. In the film, he was always tasked in watching over Ariel due to her mischievous deeds. He loved music, and sang two of the most iconic songs in the Disney universe, one being Under the Sea and the other, Kiss the Girl. He was often seen to be very grumpy and worrisome throughout the show, and it was the magnificent voice of Samuel Wright that voiced the crab. Unfortunately, Samuel passed away on May 24, 2021 in New York at the age of 74 years. Ariel had 6 older sisters. The firstborn was Aetna, who was the heir of Atlantica. The secondborn was Alana, the third Adela, the fourth Aquata, the fifth Arista, and the sixthborn was Andrina, who was the sassiest of them all. Their role in the movie was to bring a sense of family and union, and to decrease the seriousness of the film. They were multi-voiced by Kimmy Robertson, who is an American actress. And finally, we meet the secondary antagonists in the film called Flotsam and Jetsam, who were a pair of moray eels who belonged to Ursula. They always spoke in unison and finished each other's sentences like twins. They were highly competent and threatening figures who were remarkably efficient in carrying out villainous activities and tasks. And they were also very proud of their work, as was seen multiple times when they always congratulated each other after successfully completing their tasks. They were both voiced by Patty Edwards, who was an English-American actress that sadly passed away on 18th of October, 1999 at the age of 68 years. That means that out of the 13 cast members we discussed today, only 5 are alive. Thank you for watching today's episode, and I hope to see you in the next one.